zooming into my face again. Don't do it. I don't see anything right now. I think we're live right now, but I don't see anything. So I'm just gonna sit there and refresh until it works. Classic when you start the first day here. Okay, good. It doesn't zoom into my face. I was afraid for a moment there. I was like, oh no, I forgot to check that thing. So, hello everyone. It's the last episode, of course, of My Academia. Maybe last episode I ever watched. No, I'm just kidding. Of course I'm gonna watch next season. I love My Academia. But this season hasn't been the best. We all know that. Don't have to be a dead horse. Don't have to talk about too much, right? What I will say though is, as I mentioned earlier, is that I'm of course gonna read the chapter. So yeah, let's say probably next week. Probably next Saturday I'm probably gonna sit down, at this time when the anime will be out, and I'm probably gonna actually, plan to live read the season 5 chapters, right? Kind of, and compare them and so on, and be all like, what's happened? Why did they change the thing and so on? Certainly, but here we are, last episode, and I will say this thing here. I feel this episode here is gonna be a nothing burger probably, given the preview, and that's also kind of strange because it's like last episode, right, had the ending of the villain arc, okay? That's the badass arc, right? And as I said last week, what I think the huge issue here is that we have this build-up of the heroes training, right? We have, Endeavor training, Deku and so on. Then we have the bad guys training, right? They do the training stuff. And they have two separate stories, of course. Hawk is kind of in the middle, but mostly separate stories. And there's no payoff. There's no payoff for these two groups of people, improving their quirks. There's no payoff. So it's just like, oh, yeah, like if it's really weird, like a season of anime, right, to not have the actual what's gonna happen next, right? It's kind of a weird thing, and it does feel a lot like if they just didn't have all this filler and recap and the bad pacing, you would probably have not so much. Good web design though. I don't know, man. Web design I think is very easy. You just drop some stuff and some UI stuff. That was kind of fun. I'm working with this thing right now. I said briefly here. One thing I'm working with right now is the UI thing. And I'm just like, oh, this is so simple. People are, I don't know, web design, man. That's for like HTML code for so the simplest thing, gaming. But anyway, let's read anime. So 3, 2, 1, and go. But yeah, don't get me ranting on bad web design. I see it in my where I work. But let's see now. But I'm just afraid here, right? I'm afraid, but I think I'm right. This episode here won't have any payoff. It won't be like, it won't really connect these two stories. And I guess you could argue that last week would probably been the better ending, because it would end with like, oh, I'm the bad guy. Like here's the bad guy taking up. Here's some dabbing Hawks here. Oh yeah. And he's giving him the genius body. Well, couldn't use a quirk to create a fake body though? I don't know, man. Nah. Doesn't he have a lot of quirks to create fake bodies though? Yeah, he's like Messiah. Some nice booty there, yeah. This is kind of cute. Hawks is like, Gambare guys, let's be bad guys. He's going around there like, hey man, I'm also a bad guy. Woo, I love you guys. Yeah, and it feels that this is gonna be completely, next season, right? Will it open now? Oh, no opening? Yeah, so let's go talk about his, decaying touch here. Also need more power, man. It's like, you want more power? I want more power. It's like, yes, give me more power. It's like, yeah, Shikara. Makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you want more power, right? That makes sense. Yeah, of course it was first researching for Offer 1, right? Obviously. How old actually is? He's like, the generation went past. How old is this guy? He's like, I was a badass scientist for 100 years. Yeah, I was like, oh, I've been doing this for a while now. Oh, yeah, so he's the one that came up with the singularity idea? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they're gonna create this massive super quirk that... Is the Doctor actually a good guy? Not on his own view, he's also evil, but I mean his own perspective? Is he like trying to save humanity from destroying the seventh singularity? Would you argue for that? Oh man, okay, this is a disgusting butterfly view. Oh yeah, okay, sure. Oh yes, he learns about the powers. It's probably up to now, so I forget about it. I don't know. I wonder, is given the previous episode will be about, right? It feels like it's going to be an intermission episode. Are they going to keep the villain part? No, it's back to heroes, right? Yeah, it's going to be there. Because the previous just the heroes jumping around, having a good old day, right? Yeah, I mean it's like, let's see where we go with it, but. Okay. Let's see how I'm gonna be right here. I think it's gonna be a pretty weak ending, honestly, right? Like I would argue, even for seeing the episode here, I think last episode would probably been a better ending because it's a very like say a big scene of he's like I'm the Messiah now. Like that's kind of like a better cliffhanger, right? Now I think we kind of just getting. It's like in the mission chapter, we're kind of like, oh, here's the Hawks hanging around, he's trying to figure out stuff. Let's see, but it's an incredibly weird paced season. And I really wonder, right? I really wondered if they would be able to have finished this this whole arc, right? With now then the conclusions of the fighting him and so on in one season, if they had actual proper pacing. I wonder that. I don't know how chapter it is, but it feels like they probably could on that. Okay, so here we go. We're jumping forward to the heroes. Yeah, this one in the preview, right? They're gonna fight those mechas again at the episode 4. Oh yeah, naval laser, clearly. He's all like, look at me, I'm so flashy! He actually looks competent for once. Okay, what can she do then, though? Also, you can reflect it, I guess, because she got light powers. Yeah, because her powers, of course, invisibility, but she actually bends light, right? But can she do anything else? How is that him then? Oh, nice. Ashido. Oh, nice. She got some kind of acid coating, I guess. Yeah, like an acid. This poor mecha. Nice, yeah. It's all slime. Yeah, so felt very etchy. Yeah, she's all covered in mucus slime. Now she's standing over there dancing with her new acid powers. Yeah, and of course he's all has stomach issues with his power. Right? It's like, oh man, it breaks my inner. Oh come on, they shipped them right. Yeah, look at that. Well, I love it. I love it. She was all like, yeah. But also want to see the fan service girl Ashido, right? This is nice to see them all getting stronger. But this is again what I meant earlier. It's like, I want to see them fight the bad guys though. They will get stronger too, right? You're not gonna get that, right? Okay. I don't know, improving search skills, but I guess they studied. It doesn't really explain what they did though. But how did he improve it though? And Mineta does. I don't know, he throws a lot of grapes, yeah. Like Mineta is like, yeah, I can throw grapes faster or something. Oh yeah. Of course, Minetta wants to be trained mountain lady. Yeah, that's good, Minetta. He's like, I want mountain lady to train me. Yes, Minetta. You know, yeah. But this again feels honestly like almost like a filler episode, right? Yeah, genuinely. I mean, it's decent, but we're seeing all the characters' name again. Yeah, this is Ida. He's like faster now. You know, yeah, we're getting everyone's name. This feels like an episode 1 of season 6, right? This feels like this would be the next episode of season 6. When you're like, here's all the characters, here's all their names, here's all their... You remember this guy? He's trained by Hawks. Yeah, you remember this guy too? Like, yeah, number 2 guy. This feels weirdly like a not end... Much more like the first episode of the new season, right? Yeah, of course, it's fast guy. We don't know that. You know, they're like best bros. Come on, man. She's still being trained by her... Not being trained by Ryoka, right? But allows her screaming, gun head martial art! Yeah. But yeah, she said became, of course, Dragon Lady. We know that, but... Good, sexy Dragon Lady. They did not get into a bikini in the beach episode. What the hell was that? Oh. This actually a guy I think for sure him. Majestic. And that's of course Endower, been training these boys. Yeah, of course. There we go. Endower. Yeah, let's flashback a bit. And then this is season 5 already. Yeah, here's a bit of the beach episode. Remember this time we trained in the forest. Yeah, come on, here we go. I mean, yeah, definitely it's more confidence now than he had in like episode 3 or something. And he has mastered to some extent, I guess, his Spider-Man powers here. But yeah, Deku is, of course, eventually gonna have like 7-8 quirks, right? It's gonna be kind of crazy when he gets like... These poor robots. Like that robot was like, humans are mean! That robot I was like, oh, why are you so mean to us for? Yeah, you're fast and hot. Is that a flirt? You're so hot. Yeah, that... I wonder no one is questioning this stuff. They're like, you can use it black stuff now? Oh, cool black stuff. No one's like questioning his black stuff? Everyone's like, yeah bro, new black stuff, woo! But you know, no one is like, how does that work? How can I get 2 quirks? Oh yeah, more recap of course, but... Oh. Ooh. Yeah, look at that Uraka getting upgrades here so she can protect her boyfriend. That's like kind of cute cat ears too. Yeah, it's very kawaii. Yeah, I need to be more calm. She just all like, oh, you like him, eh? Oh, that's nice though. Yeah, little friendship fist bump romance. That was kawaii, but also wholesome, but also kind of awkward. It's like, yeah, I love you, fist bump. Instead of being, yeah. Oh, whatever. That poor girl. Oh. Spin back to their friend. Är det Chan? No, every episode only? Huh. Her curse like over... Man, her powers is so weird, so now it's actually, what's in pain because of her quirk? Yeah, what this thing? Okay. Then they didn't explain it. What was that? Okay, she's in pain with her quirk, and then it's like it didn't explain it. It just kind of went, oh, okay. Yeah. It didn't even give us a hint. Maybe she's evolving her powers. Maybe she'll give, you know, Senpai's powers back. I don't know. It was like, okay. But here we go. Next quirk power, I guess. Almost like next step, right? It's gonna be like, you're gonna pick up another quirk, boy. Yeah, sure then. You have 7 more quirks, or 6 more quirks. You gotta pick up the quirk, right? Yeah, he's like, let's learn a new quirk. Okay, I know nothing about these previous people, I guess. Yeah, some of the generation be lost. Now you bore me. But you can probably use... I'll do it for a second, but come on, he'll probably learn and extend time, right? Here we go. Interesting. Can we explain what he can do? Well, I mean, he's the... Okay, we know his guy. Okay, this is the guy we know about it. Come on, move on to the next guy. Yeah. He got this, like, Spider-Man whips, man. yeah. Yeah, but it's usually everything's amazing to you, Deku. But the thing is that, you know, you get like 7 quirks at the same time. Use the combination of possibilities. Use how you can combine the powers, which is so incredibly strong. It's so much more versatile having like 7 quirks than having like 1 strong quirk. Unless the strong quirk is like, I kill you by 1 touch or whatever. But you know, like, most quirks are not gonna be able to even get close to that, right? Because 7 like mid quirks is clearly a lot better than 1 high quirk. Like, it's like, I guess in almost every context, except in an incredible rare case, right? Yeah, we can see them there. Come on, give me the good stuff, Albert. Tell me the quirks. Yeah, don't tell me they were fighting. They all died young. Yeah. They all fought and died. Well, tell me, we don't know that, but tell me 3 quirks then. Finally! Bakugo is only gonna get like, tell me what the nerd's gonna learn. Here we go. Floating! Which I guess is like flying or something. Ah! His master. Which he would know, of course, what she can do. Man, she's ripped though. You gotta figure that yeah, now she has the freaking ass, man. What is he? So he can already fly. He can already fly, right? Yeah, I can already float! Losers! Exactly. You suck, Deku! I already have your quirk! Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'm already winning. Yeah. But yeah, hello, man. Oh, I love it. Yeah, Bakugo was like, I can't already do that. But I use this quirk, man. What I use this quirk? Yeah. Floating. But I guess the difference between her powers, float, would probably you could actually stand in mid-air, right? Yeah, I guess her quirk, you know, she would actually be able to fly. Now they're having a party here. Oh, this is good, yeah. Yeah, he sits to and cry, yeah. And then, you're not good at this! Yeah, I love it. I'm not good at cutting freaking... You just suck at it, yeah, it's like... Just cut them like that. He's like, all this crap he's done. But I love it to the Rocky, it's like, you're a master at this, kid. It's like, no. But this is what I mean. It feels like a very intermission episode. Yeah, come by here. Like, it feels like a very... I mean, it's like cute. You know what I mean? It feels like kind of like a ish half filler episode. I mean, not filler, but at least it's new information. But it feels like half the episode is kind of like, yeah, we hang out, nothing happens. It's a very weird last episode. That is so little drama or whatever, right? It's so little cliffhanger. Oh, new students? Yeah. You interesting, huh? That's true. They never get any new students, right? They never get any younger students. Some kohais that have powers. That's true. Time to bring in some kohais. This is like a super relaxed final here. They're just hanging out and having fun. Yeah, having some hot pot together and... Yeah. And a little more flashbacks. The flashback you saw! The flashback in the like the 2 minutes back we just had it scene! Where did the flashback talking to All Might we just had it scene like a minute ago? What the hell, man? That's the first flashback they've ever done this season. They literally flashback All Might with Deku that we had a minute before, right? Like, oh my god. I mean, it was like 10 seconds, but that was unnecessary flashback they've ever done this anime. Holy shit. Okay, now something new might happen. Maybe some cliffhanger here. Maybe talking about his, you know, friend or something. Yeah, come on, give me something cliffhanger here. I really want something to do. Okay, stay. Okay, good. You know, I want to learn something that I want to like. Okay, let's jump from that. Okay, what happened to Eri then? Explain that then. Power, senpai, training. Come on, senpai coming back. Come on. Yeah, it really feels like episode 1 of season 6. It really feels that. Yeah, definitely like Calm Before the Storm. But it is a very weird last episode. I mean, it's just a bad episode per se. It just feels like a really weird... Last episode was on a high note, right? And now we can have a very much... Yeah, the very like the mellow final episode. Get some more recaps. I don't need more flashbacks, so go ahead, man. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a nice scene. Slightly nice, but didn't like add anything. Okay, so number the Hawks then. Here is our feeling could be a cliffhanger. Maybe someone's gonna kill Hawks. That would be a cool ending. I mean, I like Hawks as a character. Maybe someone's gonna stab him in the back or something. I don't know, like just throwing it out here. Who's the doctor? Well, I guess he's running, I guess, a normal hospital, I suppose. Yeah, because he's, you know, improving Shigaraki with the lightning and so on. But I guess he's also running like a normal hospital somewhere, I suppose. Here you go. Someone coming in like, probably not. He's like, hey bro, yeah. Twice is like, hey bro, yeah. So no, I guess nothing. He's just like, hey, I love you, guy. Yeah, he's just. Next day will be here soon. Yeah, next season. It's this really. I mean, I said it in the beginning earlier. I said it a few times now, but of course, there's some ending after, maybe some cliffhanger after. But we're gonna read that, of course. But the episode isn't bad per se, right? But it really feels like how they usually do a first episode, right? Because they love to do this recap, the first episode. Like, I think it's in 3. Is it 2? I think it's 3. Where they have a beach episode or like a onsen episode, right? You kind of go to some pool or whatever, it's a bikini and so on, right? And that bikini episode, it's like, oh, here's Urika, she can like, you know, gravity, here's her boobies, you know, oh, here's this woman, she can do this stuff, here's her ass, you know. That's kind of what they love to do in episode 1, right? Kind of fan servicey, showing people's powers and so on, right? And then it's like, you know, here's this guy, he can freeze and so on, yeah. Because the middle of the episode really felt that, right? Like, here's Ashido, she can do acid stuff. Yeah, it was like 5 minutes of just like showing everyone's name again. It felt like the very typically for our first episode. And because it's very like a calm episode, it really comes off like a episode 1 of the next season. So it feels really like they probably should have ended it last week and then made it next year or something. But maybe something after ending is gonna be like, whoa. Like, maybe Twice kills Hawks or something. I don't know, I expect something to happen, I don't know. I'm just thinking it could be a cliffhanger, but here we go. It's Sakura Cherry Blossom. And it feels even more like a typical filler episode. This hang out. Okay, maybe it's gonna show some new students. They mentioned, you know, we're gonna have some co-heists, right? That I think interesting. We've never seen them recruit new, younger people than them. Could be something. Maybe some hints to some new character. Okay. Oh, okay, a cool Alma statue. I mean, it looks, okay, that's cool, but... Oh, here we go. This might be a new student, maybe? I don't know, and only. Might be a, yeah, this guy. Maybe a new little Kohai with powers. And then burning is there. She's burning as always, hot as always. Yeah. Oh, here's a new guy, like a mummy guy or something. And then a guy with long hair. Something. Could be because we're heroes are grown up. Senpai. I don't know, they're just setting up like a next fight, I guess, with the bad guys. Yeah, that was the last episode, and you know, I expected this to happen, right? Just looking at the preview earlier, I was like, let's use it. I was like, well, okay. But I guess we do see this boy here, and I guess he's like gonna be like a new student. They didn't mention that, oh, we're gonna have some Kohais, right? Some cute little Kohais gonna come, right? As an anime only here, I expect this kid then to be like a new student, right? He has the Endower plushie, so he might come like, you know, in next season, right, with like a new, some new character and be a new hero, which makes sense. I mean, they will obviously recruit new heroes eventually. They actually been stuck just having the same students, right? With Shinshu, I guess, going from like a, you know, but that's an interesting point. I guess they did cast, because really, like, I expected something was something negative, right? Something like, here's someone stabbing Hawks, or here's like Deku being like, oh no, I can feel the power surge, something. But it's just like nothing really happened, right? Nothing really happened this episode, and that's honestly what I expected. So I don't feel overly negative, I'm like overly disappointed, because kind of went where I did expect it to go. But it's like a very weird episode, fun episode. Let's go back to what I mainly made in this review, right? Okay, then next. Okay, good. I think this thing, right, which is like 5 minutes too, it's crazy long too. I have the best scene with Ashido running around her. Yeah, Ashido, all, you know, all, yeah, this is the best scene. Yeah! Like, we need to get Ashido, right? Here we go, Ashido. Yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, all covered in goo, you know, like this fencer. Yeah, oh yeah, awesome, right? But that, of course, is what I mean, right? This episode here, and I said it before I watched the episode, but I was like, it's kind of like a weird episode for a final episode, because it's kind of the previous one. So anyway, what I mean, of course, I said a few times now in the reaction to one, is that this really is like a typical episode 1 for a season, because this is how they always do it. As I mentioned, the bikini episode, we see like she doing the bikini, and she's like, I can do acid, then, you know, and she's spinning around in bikini, right, and throws some acid, right. And this is the exact same thing. Here's Ashido, she's covered in like acid goo powers, like, oh, I can do this thing now, I can be like completely up in acid goo, and I'm still looking super sexy, woo, you know. And it's kind of like that, right. And then we see the other characters, you know, we see Urika with her kind of, they call it, I don't know, I guess like a Ulrika's upgraded. We have like a cute little cat gloves that can send out some kind of rail or something, right? Some kind of metal wire of sort that you can like use or whatever, right? Which is like an upgrade, and you know, etc. Right? Then we see all the other characters, most of course the female characters, showing what their oppai and so on, right? And this really is, you know, this really is like a typical episode 1. Like what else can you say, right? Like what else can you say? It is I don't know, and this definitely goes on to, like, it really probably spent 5 minutes of showing everyone's name again, and that's what I mean, because usually what I basically calls this episode 1 every season, right, is that it's kind of like an episode 0 every year, right? We kind of do like a, because they usually are filler then, the first episode every year, and it's like, again then, you know, mostly bikinis or oppais or assets or whatever, right? And of course I've seen One Piece, I'm a regular, I mean I do One Piece reviews and so on every week, of course, but like, I had to find Momo here. Didn't Momo have a typical oppai scene? I mean, you know, like, I don't know, man. Ashido probably wins typically in fan service, but I mean Momo has like a, this scene is history for like almost 5 minutes, right? Probably more even. Here we go. Actually, Momo didn't have that much of her. I mean, okay, her oppas are in the middle. But also, what really spends the time, right, is that they are doing this stuff too. not only are they showing like Momo's up eyes and Ashido's ass and so on, right? They also like, here's this guy. Remember this guy? He was like in one frame last season, Yeah, really weird last episode. Didn't amount this amount to anything. It's showing that they're slightly stronger, right? And also would probably it will also feel a lot better, I think, again as a episode 1, because basically it's like a time skip. Everyone is stronger, and that would feel more meaningful, right? If you have a time skip and then everyone's like real life time skip, right? We're returning next year, and everyone is stronger. That also will feel more like in tune with the storyline. But really though, like showing all the students, all the quirks, all their names, and also all the teachers. This took like half the episode almost. Not half, but like a third maybe. But anyway, what more happened than there was new stuff? We saw Eri. We saw Hawks. I guess we had this little Urika. It was kind of adorable, kind of a sad romance theme. She's like, yeah, Deku, let's be best friends forever. Yeah, this was my favorite. Yeah, it was just cute. She's like, I like as a friend. Yeah, I'm not in love with you. It was a cute scene. That was the best scene. Come on, Urika being all like, yeah, I mean, I support you forever because best friends, right? Yeah. No, anyway, let's go to Nana. She had with her bird quirk. That I would say is the biggest thing in this episode, given what actually happened, because nothing much happened, right? So I guess the biggest thing is her quirk. You hear this. She's goddamn ripped though. I think that's one thing. I mean, she's very muscular. We see it all the times too, but I think this is the best in of her. We see like her abs are very well written. She's like, that's cool. Yeah, his grandma was hot, man. Yeah, she was a very muscular woman. Yeah, but I would say that the biggest thing in the actual episode is learning her quirk, right? She could fly or float, as they call it. So I guess it's like a worse flying thing. And that's gonna be Deku's next power then, right? I suppose, because he kind of said that. I don't see why he couldn't learn another quirk before that, but I guess this is the quirk that All Might knows about. So from an information standpoint, I would say this is the biggest thing we learned, right? Because what Hawk is doing is nothing new. Hawk is like, shit, everyone's gonna die, right? Yeah, he's like, he's getting panic, right? But they already know that. And of course, Shigaraki getting power up, everyone knows too. So the biggest new thing I would argue is just her quirk was. Super muscular grandma could fly. But that being said, because, and she kind of standing here, kind of floating in the sky, right? And again, call it floating and not flying. I do think that doesn't sound like a very good quirk, honestly. It doesn't sound like an amazing quirk because, right, I'm thinking in Marvel and so on, right? You have people that can float. For example, Cloud9, she can kind of float in Marvel. But comparing floating to something like a person that can fly, right? Floating is just crazy. It's not the worst power ever, but I mean, floating mostly means you kind of, you kind of float, right? Yeah. Where flying is, of course, you actually fly. So it really comes off that could she just kind of slowly fly, right? Because floating is basically you fly but slow, right? Or you can like stand still in the air or something. You can like airwalk or whatever, I suppose. But the Bakugo is like, I can also float. That's good. But anyway, that being said though, even though her power does sound like a worse flying, it still is a good power, of course, to have with all my getting all the powers, right? And this is why, I said it way earlier in this, right? I feel like, man, Deku's gonna get like 7 quirks. He's gonna get like a picking power creep. He's gonna be so goddamn strong, right? Because even if Bakugo is like, oh, they're all pretty like mediocre quirks. I mean, yeah, I agree. This sounds way worse than his quirk, right? Bakugo's explosive quirk sounds way better than floating. But of course, if you have floating and you have the super strength and you have super durability, you have this like Spider-Man Black Whip thing going on, and then what other people can do. You can combine that, so now Deku is going to be able to, of course, kind of fly, but slowly. But given that he can, like, already, kind of air jump and kind of super speed and so on, right? And then he can, I guess, kind of defy gravity or whatever, right? He can basically stop himself in the air, and it just gives so much... yeah, so in that sense, getting any kind of mediocre flying ability, it really gives Deku all this... I said combos, right? The possibilities are not endless, but he clearly has a lot of things he can do with be able to like stop, or he might be able to fight someone and they're gonna punch him. He can use stop himself because he can kind of fly, right? He can change yeah, one huge thing is that even if she couldn't like fly super fast, she can fly, right? You know, he's slow flying. So if he's flying as an enemy, or he's gonna punch them, they're gonna punch him, right? Whatever. He can stop himself. He can change trajectory and so on. What I'm picking on is that I play a lot of fighting game play. I'm a huge fighting game player, and if you play a lot of fighting games, let's say Street Fighter. Okay. So in Street Fighter, you have a few characters. They can jump. Everyone can jump, but they can jump and they can actually change their trajectory during the jump, which actually is kind of a unique skill. So, for example, Akuma can do that. He can jump and do the kind of divine down kick, right? You can play Yang and Yun. They can do the dive kick. Chun-Li can do something else, right? And that actually is like a huge thing, because you see the opponent jumping at you, and normally you'll be like, well, he's jumping from this frame to this frame, right? I know exactly where he can land, and he can do the attacks, right? But the character then, they can change the trajectory in the apex of the jump. They can, of course, mind game you, right? They can yomi you, and kind of go under you, go over you, and so on, right? Etc. Come behind you, and so on. They can like do the wall stop, etc. Instead, if you have a double dash in the mid-air, you can double dash again, and so on, right? If you play something like Bang and Blaze, you can jump on his teleporting sing size and jump again, and etc. Right? And that gives you so much mind game. That's what I'm mad at here with being able to float, right? That someone can try to punch deck you, he's in the sky, suddenly it goes down or whatever. Right? It gives you, yeah. So in that sense, being able to fly, even if he, even if it's like super speed flying, but like a decent flying ability, gives you a lot of evasion abilities. And then of course you combine that with this Spider-Man black whip thing, right? You can fly and go down and under and fast and so on. So yeah, it sounds like Deku is gonna be very mobile, right? Which here it is. So yeah, pretty good power up. Even though I agree with Bakugo, it's like, well, this power itself doesn't sound like super amazing. But if you're a super ripped grandma, I mean, it works anyway, right? But of course, the combination of having like 7 quirks is super good. As I said earlier in the reaction part, I was like, well, if you have 7 mid quirks, that is definitely better than having almost any 1 quirk, right? Unless that 1 quirk is like, I am immortal with infinite power. But yeah, of course there can be a few quirks that are so incredibly OP, you could imagine that you can just do whatever, right? But otherwise, 7 mid quirks, just the variation and combination of that is just amazing. But anyway, she has floating powers, and I guess that sounds pretty good. What else happened in the chapter? But then I'm like, yeah, that was exciting, learning her quirk and seeing how hot Grandma is. But otherwise, yeah, it almost comes off like a filler episode, right? Kind of like intermission episode, I like to call them. But yeah, sort of otherwise, we see them just hanging out. They're laughing a bit, Bakugo is angry, he can't use the kitchen correctly. I'm just like, what has happened, honestly? For a final episode, it definitely is like, oh, that just kind of ended, and I know this quirk now, and then like I'm seriously like thinking what happened more in the episode. It wasn't like boring or anything, it was kind of fun, yeah, but it's kind of a comedy episode. Otherwise, this happens. They hang out and they like, oh man, you're my guys, my best friends. No, but honestly, what more happened, right? So it definitely is a very weak final episode. Learning her quirk is interesting, and then we just saw them having some fan service, see them hanging out, some jokes. So entertaining, but definitely felt like this could be any episode, and doesn't really fit for our last episode, right? And I guess it kind of unfortunately concludes this season. It's been a very weirdly paced, weirdly structured, ordered season, right? Had a lot of recap, weird filling in the middle, right? Horrible pacing, some filler episodes, which I think is fine. I mean, I'm not against a filler. I think that like a Bikini Beach episode, filler episode, that actually, if anything, I would prefer having like 3-4, real like fan service filler episodes, but having good pacing in the rest of the season, right? Yeah, I'd much rather have them. Let's say they had 4 filler episodes. It's pure fillers. It's the girls hanging on the beach, the oppies, whatever. Yeah, just kind of that. Just pure filler. But then the rest of the episode would of course have proper pacing, right? And no weird recap, whatever. Just had perfect pacing in the rest of the episode. That would be the same amount of screen time, right? Because they clearly had, especially at the beginning, maybe the first 10 or 12 episodes or so, they clearly had at least like 4 or 5 minutes of like recap filler in every episode, right? So they could easily make like 2, 3, probably 4 full episodes instead, and having so it definitely gave me that One Piece vibe where you're like, oh man, why can't you just do like a filler arc? Why are you doing like, you know, like half a chapter per episode? Do like a filler arc instead, right? And do a proper pacing per episode with the main story. And in One Piece defense then, even though I think One Piece anime of course is horribly paced, but it's, at least in One Piece, they produce one episode every week. And of course in My Academia, this has been a complaint people have had of course this whole year, but I think a very fair complaint is that this is a seasonal anime. You aren't producing it every week, you're doing it half per year, but you don't producing it, you know, you have like a higher budget per episode and you don't produce it every day for constantly, so you have a lot more time to actually pace it out correctly. And this episode here again, right? I mean, the episode is fine, but it comes off like an episode 1 of a new season. It mostly covers nothing really. It's like, okay, here's Nana, you know, hot grandma's power, she could float, okay. And then, what has happened? Nothing really has happened. Right? Otherwise just Deku having a good time, like fist bumping his girlfriend. He's like, I love you, I mean, best friend, woo! Yeah, it's kind of cute, right? And we're seeing Ashida covered in some white goo. She's kind of like, you know, fan service. So yeah, like, you see that stuff, right? It feels like a very weird, this feels like an episode that would be either episode 1 or something like episode 12, 13, right? Something like in the middle of, you know, like a fall to spring season or whatever, that kind of thing. When it kind of go over to like winter to spring, or changing the week of the anime or whatever. Right? Like currently now we have fall started yesterday. You know, that kind of like intermission episode. That's how it feels, right? So very weird, like very. You definitely expect the last episode to kind of pull you in to want to read the manga, right? I'm going to read the manga anyway, of course, but I want to see how the manga actually is during this arc. But you do expect the last episode to kind of pull you in with like, oh shit, someone just backstabbed Hawks, literally, you know? Oh my god, Eri is dying or something, or I don't know, Stain appearing and killing Urika or something. You expect something to happen, right? Being like, oh no, the airplane crash or something. You expect something like, here's a cliffhanger, and it's not really, it's just kind of like, they hang out, here's some boobies, and then here's, you know, hot muscular grandma's power, and then like, whatever, it's over. Yeah, because the main story didn't progress at all. We didn't learn anything new from Hawks. He was just like, someone is behind them, it's like, we know that. And of course, I saw since someone didn't say anything new about his friend or whatever, so it didn't progress the main story for a second, like maybe like a 1% something. But whatever. I'm still a My Academia fan, you know, I have all my, behind me, my Miracle buttocks thing there and so on, you know. I need a Miracle. But yeah, I'm planning the next Saturday, subscribe yourself, next Saturday I'm gonna read the manga then. We're gonna go back, I'm gonna read the manga, and I'm gonna compare it, right? I don't know if I'm gonna read all the chapters next Saturday, but I'm gonna probably 20 or whatever. I'm gonna read a few bits there and you know, compare them. Can't even Black Clover after reading that. And it's gonna be exciting. Everyone of course keeps saying the manga is a million times better, so like, we're gonna see. But I definitely expect the manga to be better paced, right? Obviously. But anyway guys, today we also have a new anime. We have the horror anime, so I'm looking forward to, because it sounds really silly, with one guy and like, what is it? He's like the, I don't know, it's like 6 men alive, and all the men, it's like 5 men, 5 billion females or something. So that's not like good horror anime. Something today. And yesterday was Blue Period, like shonen art anime, which was pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I really like the sensei in that anime. She was a really well written, like an actual, like a realistic good teacher. Like that was actually quite exciting. I felt she was a kind of a trickster sensei. I was like, oh, don't you want to be an artist? Yeah, but it was good. I like Blue Period. It was a good episode one. I think it's still a Netflix daily. People probably haven't seen it, most people. But I saw it, of course, with no subtitles. Yeah, so you should do. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching My Academia, and yeah, next week then,